Bad Dog Guide. First thing to do is to import the asset or the package, import package and custom package. Okay, the folder's imported. If I click on it, on the right hand side of the project tab, you can see audio, materials, scripts, controllers, and 3 FBX files. These 3 files are the characters. Each one of these characters is a separate model with its own rigging, its own skeleton, and there are 3 different resolutions, so you can choose which model best suits your game, or you can use 3 meshes to make an LOD group. Okay, so to connect the animations with the character itself, need to add some components. So if I click on Wolf, you'll see that I need an animator. Firstly, if I click on the FBX, you'll see that it's already connected with the Mecanim's rigging. If you have to do that in another project, ever have to connect it, then all you have to do is make sure rigging is activated. Click on the animated type tab. You can select humanoid for this model and then configure, save. And what you'll get is this pose here. Enforcing the T-pose rotates the model's head bone upwards and forces the shoulders to compress with any of the animations that come with Mecanim. To avoid that, setting the rig to sample bind pose allows the character to use standard animations made for the Mecanim characters. Clicking on the model or the character in the hierarchy, now I can add elements to the character. The first one I'm going to need is the animator controller. You can find that by clicking on the Bad Dog folder in the project tab, double clicking on the scripts and controllers. First click on the Wolf controller and drag it into the slot of the animator controller. So that's done, and now we need a component, a physics character controller. That's our pill. I need to change the size and position of that container. So the height, where the container is centered, the height of the container itself. It should encompass the character but not penetrate the floor. And I usually make it wide enough to encompass the arms of the model. So that's done. Now a component physics rigid body. Can leave everything default here. It's for collisions with trees and the rocks and other items in the scene which have colliders attached to them. With that done, we need to attach the script, scripts and controllers, highlight the wolf, drag the wolf script to the add components, and you'll see here that there's 3 slots for the audio. Double click on the audio folder, and these are the audio files that come with the character for the action animations. Highlight the character and drag. Attack to attack, roar to roar, and breath to breath. To get those to play, we're going to need to attach audio sources to the character. Audio source, and I get a slot for my audio. I'm going to do that another 2 times. Audio source, audio source, and now I can slot in my audio files. 1, 2, 3, yep. Okay, what I've noticed is I want my breathing, which is continuous, to be at a lower level. So I won't put that as my first sound file. I'll put in the roar as my first sound file. And my second sound file, I'm going to use the attack, which is the slash animation. The last one I'm going to put in is breath. Okay, so there's certain things I need to change here in my audio slots to get the desired result. For a start, my raw audio is the first one, so I don't want that to play on awake. So I'll deselect that, and I don't want it to loop. The priority is good. I want the volume high. The pitch is at default. I don't want a Doppler level. This is a 3D sound, so when I pan the camera, I don't want it to change pitch. The fall off, the roll off here, I'm going to make linear, so that it gives me a nice fall off depending on where the camera is. The next one is attack. I don't want that to play on awake, and I don't want it to loop. Priority is good, volume is high, pitch is default, and the Doppler level is off. I also want this to be a linear roll off. The last one, which is breath, I want to play on awake and I want it to loop because it's an idle animation audio clip. Priority is good, volume I want to be a little bit lower than the other 2 sounds. The Doppler effect I want off. So and the logarithmic fall off is good the way it is here. If I pull out, then you'll see a huge sphere. That's the range of my sound files. So they're way too big. I'm going to bring those down a lot. First sound maximum distance is 500. I'm going to make that 80. You can see straight away that my range has been drastically reduced. Second sound, and the last sound. The script. R is specified for roar, and T is specified for slash. To make that work, I'm going to have to specify those key positions to activate the animations. To do that, I have to go to Edit, Project Settings, and Input. And you'll see here there's already a roar. The name of the key is roar, and the positive button is the R. Same with slash. The name of the command is slash, and the button we're going to use, or the key we're going to use, is the T key, the positive key. If you want to add more commands, there's a size. For every increment above 15, I believe is the standard one, then you're going to get an extra button here underneath, and you can customize that button too. Here is the animation controller with states, simple states. If I click on the first state, idle, you'll notice there's under motion there's an idle animation, and it's this animation here. Idle, if we expand that, you'll see that it's nothing more than a reference and a skeleton and the animation itself. So for instance, with jump, we have no jump animation, so I'm going to have to slot that in. Here under jump, I open it up, grab the animation, slide it over to motion, and slot it in. If I click on the animation itself, the idle animation, the FBX, and it brings me back to the dialog where I can choose the model, rigging, or the animations. If I click on animations and I click on the idle animation, you can see the settings for it. These settings here, you can see how these are applied on the Unity website. They've got great tutorials there for Mecanim, and they'll show you what all these knobs and levers and buttons and cogs do. That completes the video on how to implement the Bad Dog character in Unity with the Mecanim system. There's a link at the end of the video which you can use to visit an online example of the Bad Dog level if you'd like to test drive the model. The player requires a Unity web player install, which is pretty painless. Thanks for watching.